Welcome to another episode of High Proof Ashes. I am one of your co-hosts, Jason JB Smoke. And as always, over to my right.
I know what it is. No cool nickname.
Yeah, no nickname Duran, right?
That might need to be my nickname, bro. Like, no cool nickname. Like, I might just rock with that. No cool nickname. Might change my Instagram handle and all that.
There you go. That'd be
nah,
funny.
we're not doing all that. But I know what it is. It's Duran. You know,
yeah, man.
We're back in the building.
Put them in the comments, man. We're still waiting for a good one.
Yeah, we definitely are.
Waiting for a good one to snag so we can shout out to somebody who, you know, gave him a really cool nickname.
Yeah, everybody's been comical up to this point.
They have.
I don't think they're taking it seriously.
No, it's been nothing but jokes.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
We like a good laugh, though.
I do.
All right, so for today, we're gonna pull out somewhat of a big gun.
Yeah.
I think, right? But I actually haven't had this in quite a while, and one of our local shops had a box of them, and so I grabbed a few.
Okay.
But this is the Arturo Fuente King B Rosada Sungrown.
Yeah, legacy cigar.
I mean, dude, like total legacy, total giant in the business. We've said it before. This particular one is, I guess it's a kind of a torpedo. Mm-hmm. So I might have to grab my regular guillotine cut so I don't have to cut it like 20 times.
Again, we've talked about my weird habit with torpedoes. I actually like a V cut on torpedoes because I feel like it saves some of the cigar. But
okay,
all good either way. Phenomenal stick.
This one, like a lot of the Fuentes, has this little cedar, I don't know, wrap to it.
Yep, you can light your cigar with that.
You can.
For a softer light.
You can, but this thing's really thin and flames up like nobody's business. So I prefer to not do that. And then this one has the little ribbon that comes with it too. Mm-hmm. I don't know the significance of the ribbon. Maybe Crowder can tell us that. But
that's a guy we need to get on the podcast.
It is.
Probably be a lot of bleeps.
We're for adults, so
might be X-rated.
Definitely are.
At least, right? Nah, I'm gonna go mature.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go M. I'm gonna go M for mature.
But this cigar is part of their Grand Reserva line, but it's got the special blend to it being the King B Rosada Sungrown. So, but not a lot of smell on the
no. But it's a Fuente, right? Only Fuente is Fuente.
That's right. We're not going to be disappointed.
No, not at all, man. I'm always happy to smoke a Fuente, all the way down to like their entry level line, the curly head.
Yeah,
they make good stuff.
Yeah, like we had the curly head, not that long ago, and I'm glad that we did because I had kind of forgotten about it.
Yeah,
like I have some, but
it's an entry level stick that you will not be disappointed in.
Yeah,
like at all.
One of the great things about Fuente, just like with Drew Estate, they have a cigar for everyone.
Yes,
they've got the $3 or $4 cigar, and they go all the way up to crazy numbers.
You can go all the way to like 150, 175 on a Fuente if you want to.
That's right. It gets stupid, but that's what you want to do. That's for you. But anyway, for our drinks for tonight, so we've got something that we brought you before as a previous release.
Right.
This is the newest release.
Batch 3.
That's right. So the Buzzards Roost Cigar Rye Batch 3.
Which is crazy. So was there a Batch 1?
There was a Batch 1.
We didn't try Batch 1.
It didn't come here. I don't think it came to Tennessee.
Okay.
I think it was a really small batch, too, because they talked about Batch 2 only being like 2 barrels.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole country got 2 barrels, and it was something like 2 barrels.
Right.
But this time, because of the demand, they did 5 times as much as they did last year. So we were able to get a whole lot more, and they were able to really spread the love around.
Well, our cigar group probably still bought half of the bottles.
Yes. Yeah, we bought a ton.
We bought a lot of it.
Yeah, so
we bought a lot of it.
But the proof and the profile are very similar to the previous batch, and I was very happy that the profile was very pretty close. Like if you didn't tell me that it was batch 3, I don't know that I would be able to tell you that it's batch 3 versus 2.
Right.
They're really
because I've tried them side by side, and I can't tell.
Yeah, they're so close. So shout out to Buzzards Roost for making batch 3 taste just like batch 2, or as close as possible.
I agree.
And then the other one we have is the latest Tumblin Dice from Proof and Wood. the single barrel proof.
Right.
So this one is, I think it's 118 proof or something like that.
It is 112.4.
Oh, okay, 112. But the difference between this one and the previous one that they did is that this one's a 7-year versus I think the other one was a 4-year. So, and then of course Rupin did his thing and
beautiful topper
put
here,
a little topper on the topper. I love it. I love it. But yeah, let's
light them up.
Yeah, man, let's get into this. I'm going to use your cutter. It's really hard to do a torpedo with a dummy cutter.
Yeah, that would suck.
I've done it, but
you'd have to cut like 5 times.
It's a lot of times. There you go.
So I always cold draw my cigars after cutting to make sure I'm getting enough, air through there to make sure the cut is where I like it. Make sure to, brush off that top though. You don't want that extra tobacco in your mouth.
Yeah.
Pause.
Man, he's starting early again.
Got my damn self.
That's lighter than I remember it.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know, I think Jason on a previous episode tried to light one of these one time and it didn't really work out. So I'm gonna light it just so you can see it. But we're not gonna use anything on. Okay, there we go.
Is that the yeah? There you go.
So gets you a much softer flame.
Mm-hmm. There's an art to keeping it lit, but not too much, and burning your finger.
So but it gives you a much softer flame.
There's also companies who make spliffs that are cut
specifically just for lighting cigars with them.
Yeah.
So but that's what you're looking at. You can use this for that. That's more of one of those more traditional things. So you can see that you could break this up into multiple different pieces, man. If you really wanted to do a spliff, I could probably pull. Let's see. There's 1, 2. 3, 4. If you really wanted to do a spliff, you could.
Yep. And a lot of your lounges have them just laying around.
Just laying around.
So it's for people who want to light their cigar that way.
Yep. It's not my thing. It takes too much work.
I mean, to each his own. Some people really enjoy being part of the experience.
Yeah.
So. All right. Well, let's get a pour here. What are we going to start with? I think I'm going to start with the Tumblin Dice.
All right, I'll go opposite.
Okay.
For the case of saying we did it.
So one of the cool things about this brand is, or 2 cool things. One, the guy that owns this brand, he started Redemption.
Yes.
And then sold it to some big company with a lot of names behind their name. I think it's a foreign company, but so when he sold that company, he started this one up and named it after the 2 things, because all he does is source, and named it after the 2 things that he says he's in control of.
Okay.
Which is the proof of the liquid in the bottle,
and then the wood.
And the wood that the barrel is made of, that the juice ages in.
Right.
And he sources from, MGP and all, places from Tennessee and Kentucky, California, Colorado. He's all over the place.
So we've had Tumbling Dice on the podcast before.
We have.
They have a criteria bottle.
It was a criteria bottle, and it was one of our top ones.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that beat it was the Knob Creek.
So it's been a while since we've talked about a criteria bottle, and we haven't done an episode with a criteria bottle in a while, but
it's true.
It has to be at least 4 years old, has to be at least 100 proof. And then what am I missing? I'm forgetting something.
Under $40.
Under 40 bucks.
Pre-tax.
Under 40 bucks. So,
Yeah, and they're getting hard to find. I mean,
dude, hard is an understatement.
So, we recently learned though that it's Tennessee law that if they don't state the age of the bottle, it must be at least 4 years.
Right.
So that I think might make it a little bit easier, because now we're just dealing with proof and price.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but a lot of your bottles under $40 don't hit the proof mark.
Right.
Like
a lot of them come in at 86 to 90.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, I mean, but that's a lot of people want that lower proof.
Right.
You know, so there's a big market for that.
I mean, I just think once you get to that 100 proof mark, flavor profile jumps up a little bit. I prefer it to be a little bit over that, right? Like I like, 105, 110, somewhere in there.
Yep.
I think that's the sweet spot. For like a really flavorful bourbon whiskey is that 105, 110 mark. And then once you get, I think, above like 120, you're really starting to consider yourself high proof.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
And
once you get that high, you start gauging the kind of proofiness of it.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
but this is high proof ashes.
That's right.
So,
that's right. Like look, we don't. You and I both, we don't have a whole lot in our cabinet that's under 100 proof.
No, I might have a handful of bottles.
Yeah. Like outside of, I think my favorite one, or I probably have two favorites under 100. One would be the Russells.
Yes.
And the other one would be the Michters.
Yes.
Like pretty much any of the Michters.
I'll throw Eagle Rare in there.
Eagle Rare's 100.
Is it 100?
Isn't it?
I want to say it's under. Man,
I could swear it's 100. Maybe it's a 90? So, man's got to look it up. That's a shame that we don't remember that.
Let's see.
I could swear it's 100 proof, but you might be right. It might be 90.
Let's see. Eagle.
Because I think you might be right, because we've had the conversation around, I wish Eagle Rare were a little bit higher proof, and there isn't a higher proof Eagle Rare. It's E.H. Taylor.
It's 90.
Which is 100 proof. So, yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So 90 proof. That's... Yeah, I think Eagle Rare has the flavor profile. It's better than Buffalo Trace, even though it comes from the same distiller. It's a little bit better than Buffalo Trace. Probably the age on it, realistically.
But I guess I don't like the price of it.
It's $40.
But it's hard to find it at $40. Quite honestly,
it's allocated. Didn't say it wasn't allocated. Yeah. It's rough finding one.
Right.
Especially in our area.
Like at that price, I'd rather have a Taylor.
Yeah, but that's even harder to find.
Is it?
I guess.
Okay.
Eagle Rare versus E.H. Taylor?
Just the small batch?
Yeah, period.
Okay. Yeah, it's funny. I was talking with a bourbon guy, and we were talking about how we're tired of going to these lotteries where 3/4 of the bottles are Eagle Rare, Taylor, and Blanton's.
Yeah.
It's like that. Like those should just be on the shelf.
They should be everyday bottles.
Like they should just be on the shelf. That's not a lottery bottle. The people that are here, most of the people that are here have those bottles. Mm-hmm. They don't need those bottles.
Funny enough, I don't have any of them right now.
I have all three.
I just finished a bottle of E.H. Taylor. I have Blanton's, but I don't have any E.H. Taylor or Eagle Rare.
Okay.
For one, like we said, they're allocated. It's not super easy to come.
Right.
I could probably get one if I really wanted to, right?
And but some
there
stores,
just other things out there I'd rather have.
Yeah, in some stores they do just have it on the shelf, but right here in our immediate area, they don't.
I mean, if you travel 20 minutes from here, you can get one.
Right. Yeah, and it's going to be $50.
In the grand scheme of things, if you really want it in your collection, are you upset about the extra 10?
No.
Right? To no hassle, right? I don't have to go searching for it at 5 different stores. I can just walk in, buy it, and pay an extra 10. That, for me, and time itself, is enough for me to take care of.
Yeah, I mean, I just bought one a couple weeks ago, and they had cases and cases of it, and I think it was, I want to say it was $47. And so it's like, okay, I'm okay. I'm okay with that.
I'm all right.
Yeah. I'm okay with that. And I wanted an extra one, and I was there.
Yeah.
And I went ahead and picked one up. But so I'm getting a funky burn on this.
Mine's is not perfect, but it's okay.
I think I might have a little bit of a tunnel on one side.
Well, that's not cool.
Let's see.
Yep. You've got a small little hole there.
Yep. So the other side is that's the side I just touched up. So hopefully that'll clear itself up.
So you started with the Tumblin Dice. So, what's your thoughts?
So you know what? I haven't even taken a sip of it. We've been talking and smoking. You know, so you were just talking about, you know, once you hit like that 110, you start getting a little bit proofy, right?
Yeah.
Some of these bourbons and whiskeys, they start smelling a little proofy. This one smells a little proofy. Even letting it sit in the glass for a few minutes, it's still a little proofy. Let's give it a taste. So this is it's still a bourbon, but it's a high rye bourbon. And they did a really good job of taming the rye.
That spice.
So here's the thing, the spice is there, but I also think that rye tends to be, or it can be, kind of funky.
Yeah.
It kind of has this almost hoppiness to it, I guess is the best way to describe it. So it is a little spicy, but I don't get anything else from ryes that I don't like. Like, I don't mind the spiciness. It's all the other stuff I don't like. And so this is very enjoyable, but I might like the normal, regular old Tumblin Dice better.
The standard fare?
Yeah, I might just like it better. I mean, I know it's a little bit lower proof, but it's like half the price. You know, and it's way more available.
Right.
And I don't know. It's been a while since I've had the regular Tumblin Dice because it's been out.
Right.
Like I haven't been able to get one. And so when this one came out, that's why I grabbed it. I was like, oh, you know, I love the regular Tumblin Dice. Let me grab this. And I'm not disappointed that I bought it, but I kind of want to have the regular side by side now
and see how it
and compare them.
Yeah.
I'm thinking back to what we thought about it, you know, when we presented it as a criteria bottle and how much we really enjoyed it.
Oh, it's one of my top criteria bottles.
Right. I don't know that this one, like this one's definitely proofier. There's more flavor there, but I think it being a single barrel is hurting it a little bit, instead of it being blended.
Right.
They can kind of iron out all those kind of spikes in the flavor notes, I guess.
I got you.
So that's the thing about single barrels, right? So there's no I want to say fixing the flavor, but there's no modifying the flavor at all with these single barrels. So sometimes you get a single barrel and you're like, man, that's not that good. Like, I mean, it's good, but like, it's kind of, like I say, it's got these flavor spikes.
It's rough around the edges.
It's a little rough around the edges. Yeah. This one's a little rough around the edges. So, but how about you, man?
Dude, you know, this is one of our favorites, right? Like, this is one of the bottles that is like, what you call a sleeper bottle, right? Like, the price point is good.
That is definitely a sleeper bottle.
The price point is good. The proof on it is good. The flavor profile is good. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything about it is just on point.
Yep.
It's one of my favorite things to drink, so much so that I have to put it at the back of my collection, because if I don't, I will visit it often.
Yep.
And we talked about, like, so up until recently, we had not done many bottles on a dry, clean palate.
Oh, right, yes.
Buzzards Roost is one of the ones that we were like, I came to you and I said, hey, have you tried this clean and dry? And you were like, no, never. No. And I was like, dude, this is liquid cigar.
Dude, and it so is. It's like smoking a Kentucky Fire Cured.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Is this the bottle that Mr. Pursuit said he wasn't feeling?
Yes. I think at first. And I don't, he's kind of...
Has he backed off a little?
He's kind of backed off a little. Yeah, he said it tasted like wintergreen.
Yeah, that's what he said. Skull, it was crazy. Right?
But he's not
a cigar guy, for one.
No, but I also don't want to, like, how do I say this? I don't want to condone the review, but he's not completely off, because Skull is tobacco.
Yes.
And this tastes like a cigar, which is tobacco.
It very much is.
You know, but I did not get the wintergreen.
I didn't get that either. But so the problem, we are cigar guys, right? So we've said that in previous episodes. We are cigar guys that have now ventured into spirits, right? So that for me is everything I want in a bottle. It's phenomenal. Like the flavor profile is incredible. It drinks like a completely different bottle,
right,
on a dry, clean palate.
Yeah.
Like,
so if I remember right, the way that they make this is that they cold smoke tobacco in the barrel before putting the whiskey in there.
I believe so. On the bottle it says it is smoked in tobacco leaf.
Right. So there's a lot of bottles out there that have some kind of reference to cigar, right? You know, it's a cigar cut or it's a cigar blend, you know, whatever. And there's a lot of different ways and processes that they accomplish that. And so when you, if there's one particular one that has a cigar in the name that you like, don't think that all the other ones are going to taste like that.
No.
Because there's probably 5 or 6 different processes that they go about.
Yep.
You know, sometimes there's no tobacco involved at all, right? It's just a different kind of wood.
Yeah.
You know, so like you just never know. Like sometimes they put tobacco in the fluid, like in the bourbon or whiskey, whatever, you know, and just leave it in there. Like there's just so many different ways that they do it. You know, so.
But this is probably one of my top 2 cigar blends.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like, by far. Top 3, I would say. Because there's, you know, Joseph Magnus.
Oh, yes. I forgot about that one.
That one's top notch for me.
Yep.
And then the Starlight.
See, now that one is a cigar blend. So they put it in different woods.
Right.
And then blended it. But I don't think tobacco was involved at all.
I don't think so either.
You know, so whereas this one, it's a cold smoke. And the other one I'm sure that you're talking about is tobacco leaf in the whiskey. You know, so 3 completely different processes, and so 3 different flavors.
And the flavor between the 3 are very distinctively different.
Yeah.
Like, when I think about a cigar blend, when we talk about the Starlight, I don't get cigar from the Starlight.
No, not at all.
I get snickerdoodle cookies.
Absolutely. That's an amazing bottle,
like,
but it doesn't
taste
taste like
candy, or it's cookies in a bottle.
That's exactly what it is.
Right? And the Joseph Magnus, I can't say I get cigar from it either, but I get smoke.
Yes.
I get
agree
smoke.
with that one's a unique flavor profile, like just from the various woods that they use, various finishes that they use.
But all 3, very good. The price points on all 3 of those vary
wildly.
A lot. Right?
Wildly.
Well, the Joseph Magnus and the Starlight, depending on how you buy the Starlight, could be around the same.
Yeah. So MSRP for the Starlight, I believe, is around $100.
Right.
Maybe,
but secondary,
maybe $80. Secondary, it's like $140 to $180.
Yeah.
I don't know who you get it from.
The Joseph Magnus is $200.
Yeah, MSRP on Joseph is, I want to say it's $180.
Yeah.
Or $190. And then secondary is $300.
Yeah.
Or more.
Yeah.
Like just because of the rarity. I was actually able to get mine at a really good price. So somebody was just trying to offload, and
hey, we know people.
Got lucky. I got lucky.
Yeah.
It's just plain and simple. I got lucky.
Yeah.
But you know, hey, maybe we're gonna get lucky again soon. We've got a lottery coming up.
We do.
You know,
we do.
I'm excited about that. I'm hoping I'm up high again. You know, maybe.
Hey, I had great success at the lottery last year.
You did.
You know,
you got exactly like what you wanted, because.
Well, I mean, I could have had more. I just, you know, after I got a bottle, I was like, all right, I'm gonna share the wealth, right?
Right.
Because you lucked out and you came away with a birthday bourbon. I walked away with a CYPB. You know, and the tickets I gave away walked away with multiple other good things as well. So it was a good day.
Yeah, he had a lot of good stuff up there, and he didn't do, if I recall, he didn't do the whole like, you know, 50 bottles of Igor or 80 bottles of blends.
No,
like,
definitely not.
I think there were a few of those up there, but
yeah,
you know.
But I mean, you had hitters. He had Pappy. Yep. He had Stag.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, he had a couple of B-Tacs.
He had 1 or 2 B-Tacs. Yep.
You know, so I mean, it was a real lottery. It was Stag in there. There was, if I'm not mistaken, there was a Joseph Magnus in there.
There might have been.
There was some good stuff, you know. Yeah. So, you know, it was definitely a good day.
Yeah. So, you know, sometimes the lotteries are pretty good, and you know, sometimes they're not. So, kind of have to get in on a good store, I guess. You know.
should we discuss lotteries? Like, should we talk about that? Like, what
like,
a lottery is,
like
how
what
it
that is, and how it works.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, why not? You know, so it depends on the store, really. Some stores are point stores,
Mm-hmm.
and you get so many tickets for how many points you have.
Right.
You don't lose the points for the tickets, but you have to use the points to buy the bottle.
Right.
Other places you get points in a certain time frame that are for that lottery.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then you get so many tickets that way. Other ones just open the doors and let anyone in.
Right.
You
And
know?
say, hey, this is a lottery.
Yeah.
Whatever ticket you pull.
Yeah. Like
wherever you are.
everybody gets one ticket, and that's that. You
Right.
know? And you don't have to be a purchaser in the store to get a ticket.
So when we talk lottery, what we're talking about is like, the big drops of the year of the allocated bottles that you can't normally find.
The super allocated bottles.
The super allocated, the stuff that like only comes around once or twice a year, right? You go to a store, they have a method of how they decide to allow you to purchase those bottles.
I mean, basically every bottle is on the secondary market.
Yes. Yeah. If you come away with one of these high-end allocated bottles, you could easily walk out of the store the day you buy it.
There's usually people there. There's usually people there
waiting on
you, and willing to buy it off you right there.
Before I even got back to where I was standing with my CYPB, somebody had grabbed me by the arm and was like, "You want to sell that?" No, get off me.
Right.
The lotteries are cool, man. It gives you a chance to. It's more than just going to pick up a bottle. It's an opportunity for you to meet other whiskey, bourbon connoisseurs.
Yeah, it's definitely a social, community event. And then it's just really fun to see what's there and, who gets what, right? And if you get picked, kind of at the top, you got a whole bunch of stuff to pick from.
And I don't think I've ever been to a lottery that didn't turn into a tasting.
That's so true.
Right?
Yeah.
So like you go to a lottery, you may not crack the bottle that you just bought.
Right.
But those people that are at the lottery, they got a stash, right?
That's right.
Like me and Jason, we walk around with a bag.
Yeah, we do.
With several bottles in it. So the lottery happens and then you add it.
You know what would make the lottery even better? If I could smoke while we're doing the lottery. If I could smoke a cigar while we're doing the lottery.
We should convince our guy to do his lottery like in a cigar lounge.
I don't think he can.
It might be illegal.
I think it's illegal.
But man, would it be awesome.
That would be great.
Or he should build a lounge in his store.
Oh, there we go. That's what we need to talk with him about. He's trying to get into cigars.
Hey, build a lounge in your store for when we come shopping.
Absolutely.
You never know.
Absolutely. Put a speaker system in there, so you can still do the lottery out there. Because a lot of whiskey and bourbon drinkers don't smoke.
Don't smoke at all.
So they don't want to be in on that. So get your little microphone and have a speaker in the lounge so that we can be in the lounge.
Yeah.
Man.
That'd be awesome, right?
That'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome.
I don't need to be hanging out at the liquor store, man. This is not a good plan. Like, this is not a good plan.
Well, I guess we should talk about these cigars, man. Like,
oh, yeah, let's do that. Why don't you get into the band real quick, right? I mean,
bro, this is traditional Fuente.
Yeah.
This is what almost every traditional Fuente band looks like. It's gold, it's red, there's some black, you know what I'm saying? And it looks royal, right?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like this cigar was made for the quintessential cigar smoker.
Yeah. I love the medallions on it too. Like,
beautiful. Like just everything about a Fuente cigar is damn near,
right.
I can't say perfect, but it's super high end.
Right.
They have been doing it for a really long time. They make great cigars. I think Jason, has yours cleaned up any?
Yes. Yeah, the kind of tunneling that it was doing has cleaned up. The burn is much more even.
So I've got a much
more even draw.
I've got a little funkiness going on, but that again, I attribute that a lot of times to how fast I smoke.
Sure. Well, and it's a handmade product. We said it before. Every cigar is not going to be perfect.
Listen, if you go to a cigar lounge and they don't have Fuente cigars, get out. I'm just being like.
So I agree with you with one caveat.
Okay.
Some of your smaller places where the humidor is only, 10 by 10, like it's just a little bitty room, a lot of those guys just can't get them.
That's not true.
Well, so here's the way Fuente works.
You take what you get.
It's not even yes, but you're smaller. So Fuente sells to their top 20% of accounts first.
Right.
Okay. So they open up their stock to the top 20%, and they let that 20% buy whatever they want. Okay. After that's done, the other 80% of retailers out there, whatever, or accounts, get what's left.
Right.
And so not much is left.
Okay, but I agree. But there are stores locally that don't do a bunch of business and still have Fuentes available.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
Right?
That's true.
If you are going to have a cigar lounge or retail cigars,
right, you should have something Fuente.
You should have something Fuente.
Right. It may not be something high end, right?
But you should have something.
You should have something, like, because curly heads are everywhere, right? You can get those at a gas station,
right?
For goodness sakes.
So what I'm saying is if you walk into a cigar lounge, a legitimate, bona fide cigar lounge,
right,
and there's no Fuente, what are we saying about the rest of the selection? Like, there might be some good stuff in there. I don't want to say there might not be good stuff in there, but the likelihood that you've walked into a bona fide, like, top-notch cigar lounge is probably slim to none.
So I'm going to add to it. I'm going to say if they don't have Fuente and Padron. Because Padron is way easier to get, and I would expect every legitimate cigar lounge to have Padron at the very least. I know that Fuente is hard to get. If they have it, they probably won't have very much. If they're not a Fuente shop.
Right.
They don't sell a lot of Fuente. Because, I mean, like, you look at Cigar Man, like, that's a pretty big cigar shop, and he doesn't usually have a whole lot of Fuente either.
He doesn't have a lot of Fuente.
He's got,
but he's
got boxes. Yeah, he's got a couple of boxes.
So again, I'm not saying you need to have the cream of the crop, but you should have the standard fare Fuente. You should have realistically, you should probably have what we're smoking.
Yeah. So this, for all the pump and stuff that we're talking about, this particular cigar, this is part of their cheaper line. Like, this is the Grand Reserva line. Even though it was it's got a special name and it's got the little,
but it's the everyday
but
Fuente.
It's still, the line is still the everyday Fuente. This is right above the
curly heads. Yeah,
the curly heads. So, I mean, well, no, sorry, there is one more line, the Chateau line.
These are same difference.
But these are right above the Chateau line. And then you got maybe Don Carlos will be above this. But I agree with you. Like, when it comes to you should at least have Grand Reserva.
Yeah, period.
Right. Like, those are everywhere. Like,
because I'm just saying, so, like, even if you're a novice cigar smoker and you do a quick Google search, like, hey, what cigar should I start with? Fuente is going to be in your top 10. Like, if you found a list of...
It was my first cigar. Like, I had a Hemingway. Hemingway was my first cigar.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, if you Googled right now, like, where should I start on cigars?
Yep.
Fuente is probably going to come up in the first 10 cigars. Probably the first 3.
Yeah, and I would definitely recommend Grand Reserva. I think it's definitely better than the Chateau. It's not better than the Don Carlos, but it's way more available. And it's way more price point wise, affordable.
I'd recommend the curly heads.
So, I would too.
Like, if you're an entry level novice cigar smoker.
Yeah. But I think this is better.
Yeah,
right?
By far. But you will not be disappointed at buying a $5 curly head.
No, not at all.
Right? Like, if you're brand new to this, and you've never done it before and you don't want to spend a ton of money,
right?
That's where you should be.
Agreed.
So, when I tell you to run, if they don't, traditional brands are like,
they're the anchor stores at the mall.
That's it.
Like,
they're literally like, it is the foundation of cigars, right? So you got your Padrones, you've got your Fuentes, you know what I'm saying? Like, and there's some other brands that are getting there now, but if you're really talking traditional cigars, that's where you are.
All right, let me get into this cigar eye.
You got to, because we running late. We running late.
Oh, we are running late. Okay. We got into something and went on a tangent, apparently. Lost track of time. Man, the aroma on that is so good. Sir, are you on the tumbling dice right now?
Man, I'm going to. I think I disagree with you on the tumbling dice, bro. Like
Okay. I'm not saying it's bad at all. It's a good pour.
Like
it's a really good pour.
The flavor on that is it's sweet. Mm-hmm. It's spicy.
I don't like the proofiness of it. That's my only like. It tastes proofy. For 112, it tastes proofy.
So I came in tonight, and to get my palate started, that's what I went to. It was much proofier as my first drink.
Right.
Much proofier.
Jeez, that's so good.
I'm not disappointed in either bottle.
No, that's what I told you. Like I'm not disappointed that I bought it. Like
right.
I don't regret buying it at all. It's a really good bottle. I just think that for the price point, I prefer the standard fare, because that was like $55.
Okay, but the standard fare is what, 32?
It's like 32, yeah. So when I think about it like that, this is going to be one of those bottles that just kind of sits there, and I
So what's the difference?
Every now and again.
The mash bill is very different between the standard fare and this, right?
I
don't think the Tumbling Dice standard fare is high rye.
I think it is.
Is it?
I think the mash bill is the same. This is just
a single barrel,
cask strength.
Okay.
Or barrel strength, whatever.
Then maybe that's the big difference, because I feel like.
So it should taste about the same. The only difference.
No, I feel like it's distinctively different.
Okay. That's why I'm saying I need to taste them side by side.
I feel like it's distinctively different.
It's been what? I mean, 6+ months since I've had the other one.
Like when I just had that, I was like, oh, that's surprisingly refreshing.
It's really good. I'm not discounting it at all. I really want to pit it against the normal fare. Mm-hmm. From a proof point and a price point, like which one sings to me more?
Right.
Because they should taste somewhat similar.
They should be close.
Because like I say, I think it's the same mash bill.
But so we're talking as far as proof, like this is
112.
112.
I think the
standard fare is like 100.
I think it's 100. You wouldn't think that 12 points would make a big difference. I don't think it's the proof that's doing it. I think that it's the difference that this is a single barrel versus a blend.
Right.
So
not as refined.
Are you not getting the rough around the edges a little bit?
So not so much.
Okay.
I think it's a little spicier than the normal ryes that we enjoy.
Maybe that's it too.
It's a little spicier than the normal ryes that we like.
That might be it too.
But even though the spice is there, the flavor that jumps out on the back end is great. Like it's a solid bottle.
It's definitely a solid bottle. Like make no mistake, I'm not dogging the bottle at all. Not dogging it. I just don't know if I'm sold on the nicheness of the single barrel.
I got you.
Barrel strength.
I got you. That makes sense. I can totally get behind it.
I'm really curious because the standard fare is normally available all the time.
Right.
And so, like, again, how do they compare? If the standard fare is really close to that, then you would go with standard fare.
Absolutely.
All the time.
But my thing is,
that's where I'm at.
From what I can remember, I think they're leaps and bounds different.
Okay. I mean, it's hard to remember exactly how it tasted. I just remember that I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Like we taste too many bottles and sample things, and it's hard to remember something you haven't had in forever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to think about all the different criteria bottles we've tried.
No, yeah. I don't know, man. Like, I think
you're remembering the other bottle way better than I am. Like, you got to be.
Because I feel like the reason I remember it so well is because it was the top of the heap for our criteria bottle.
Yes, definitely. And yeah, until we hit that That Knob Creek, man. I
The
was
Knob
blown
Creek
away.
just ran everybody
Dude, I
out
was
the
blown
building.
away about the Knob Creek. Like how
It ran everybody out of the building.
Like how is that not like in our like rotation? Like how is that not on all of our shelves? Like that's crazy.
They just dropped like a 7-year rye, and I didn't know like that they. So everything else from Knob Creek is 9 years.
Right, 9+.
They just dropped a 7-year rye.
Interesting.
So I'm curious, like at our local Red Hot.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's right. I remember seeing the post now that you say it.
So I was kind of shocked when I seen it pop up because I thought they only did 9 years or better.
Well, and I didn't know that they did any ryes. Like, all the other ones are bourbons.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know, man. It's a big landscape out there.
Hey, man. It's a rabbit hole. A tunnel. But we're running over a little bit. So final thoughts, my friend?
Man, so I mean the cigar rye, like I think we've praised it so much. Like I don't know much more I can say about it. If you go into your local liquor store and they happen to have this bottle, you need to pick it up.
Yeah.
Like I think it's like for us it's $65,
yeah.
right? Yeah. So it's a phenomenal pour. It's different. And if you're one of those people who aren't a cigar smoker, you're going to get a different flavor, right? Because trying it on a clean palate, the profile on it is just incredible. And then the Tumblin Dice, I do enjoy the pour. I actually enjoy the spice on the back end that it has without all the other stuff that usually comes with a high rye.
Right.
So that part I really enjoyed. This because this one isn't spicy at all.
No.
Like this is just
it's super refined.
Smooth,
it's
like
very
velvet,
well done.
Like you know what I'm saying? And then the cigar, like if you've not had a Fuente, you need to have a Fuente. Like if you need to start with the curly head, do so. If you can get up to the Grand Reserva, do that. Don Carlos.
If you can go further.
Yeah. Like go as far as you can go.
Yeah. Go as far as your budget will let you go with Fuente, because you will not be disappointed.
No. And they're all different. So that's all I got, man. What you got?
I'm going to start with the cigar. As you can see, mine's is doing some weirdness, but still smoking very well, right? I attribute a lot of the problems I have with cigars to how fast I smoke cigars. I don't know how to put mine down.
If it's a good cigar, I mean, it's hard to do that.
I just go after it, right?
Yeah.
So Fuente, only Fuente is Fuente.
That's right.
I'm going to keep it 100. I am a huge fan of Fuente cigars, so I smoke them all the time, enjoy them. As far as our two spirits go, I like the Tumblin Dice a lot. Surprisingly, when matched with the Buzzards Roost, I think it's comparable.
Okay.
As far as the flavor profile goes, I am not a fan of the spiciness. If you can get past that, the flavor on the Tumblin Dice is excellent.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a matter of like, kind of what are you in the mood for?
Yeah. So, and I think you have to, if you were new to bourbon or whiskey, the Tumblin Dice might scare you a little bit, right? I'm not, so I can get past the spiciness and evaluate it as it is. The Buzzards Roost, I don't need to say anything about that. Y'all know that's one of our favorite bottles. Like you can see what that bottle looks like. Jason has a couple bottles here. I have a bottle in my bag and an additional bottle at my house. I've already gone through a bottle. Like I asked him for a small jewel of batch 2 so that I could compare the two. Like that's how much we enjoy this bottle. We've done it on a clean palate and it's a completely different bottle. It's everything you want if you're a cigar smoker. Go get it. That's all I got.
I love it.
Wrap it up?
Let's wrap it up, man.
Y'all know what it is. Another episode of High Proof Ashes. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Hit that little bell so that you know when we drop new content. And please drink responsibly. Smoke responsibly. I am Mr. No Cool Nickname. Your boy Duran. And to my left,
I am Jason JB Smoke. And we will see you on the next one.
Yes, sir. Put some smoke in the air.
That's right.